Circa Resort Casino here in Las Vegas for this very special episode of CHGO Bets. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo, and very special guest. CHGO Bears beat writer, Nicholas Moreano. You can follow him. He came and joined us in Vegas. We are blessed to be here in Circa. He'll tell you about that in a second. You can follow Cody at Cody_CHGO. You can follow Nick at Nicholas Moreano. Thank you, Marissa, for producing us here. Again, in Las Vegas. It's insane to be here. The red carpet has been pulled out for people's lives. Sure deserve it. Guys, you got we did get picked up on a limo. A limo doesn't really describe it. It's the stretchiest of stretch, the livingest of limos. It was insane. And this Southside trash was not expecting it. In my Grateful Dead t-shirt, I felt absolutely underdressed. So we are so happy. I was in C-lines. You were in Mitch met socks. Yeah. So that's socks and socks. Cody wears best. And Nick obviously looked them out. Anyway, we got a lot to talk to today. We got NFL futures, and we have this massive packet from Circa Sportsbook to go through. We got regular season wins, we got division winners, we got championship practice. So we're very excited to be here at Circa. I'll let you know how here. It's for Circa Million 5 edition of football contest. And for Circa Survivor, two different contests, extremely exciting. The Circa Million won $6 million in guaranteed contest, $1,000 per entry, $5,000
Again, this is very exciting to be here with this massive packet from Circa. Is the audio good? The audio is okay. All right, we think we're good. All right, so I was telling you about Circa Million 5. Again, $6 million in guaranteed prizes, $1,000 per entry. You do have to enter here in Las Vegas, and then you can make a proxy each week to make your 5 picks against the spread. Again, you pick 5 teams you like each and every week. There's quarterly and season-long prizes. And the winner, who does the best over all 17 weeks, will take home $1 million. And the entry that does the worst does get a $100,000 booby prize. So you could probably tank, too. You could probably try, you get up to 5 entries. You could enter one actual real one, and then you could have one where you're going for that booby prize. So, a lot of fun ways
options, yeah.
to win Circa Million 5. And it's a very cool contest, too. I mean, it's a different way to bet. I mean, obviously you can download the Circa Sportsbook app, which will be coming to Illinois soon. But you could just say, hey, I'm going to bet $1,000 on the NFL this year, and I'm going to pick 5 games each and every week. I don't know if you like that strategy, Cody. I know you're kind of, whatever money I got is what I'm betting.
Yeah. I don't have $1,000 to put down, but
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah,
Bet responsibly, guys. It's people who come out to Vegas. They're high rollers, though. So $1,000 might be not enough.
Well, in betting responsibly too knows like how much you're actually going to bet over a year. So I mean, if you are going to bet over $1,000, hey, maybe you're going to put it into a different format like Circa $1,000,005, which again, it's going to guarantee you $1 million. I don't think that you could just pick the spread 5 times each week and build up a $1 million bankroll. So it is a fun twist. And there's also Circa Survivor, $8 million guaranteed to the winner, $1,000 again per entry with a maximum of 10 entries per person. But you pick one team straight up every week to win, and if the team loses or the ties. The entry is eliminated, but you can only pick one team once in a season. So you'll pick 17 teams over 17 weeks. If you pick the Bears week 1, you can't pick the Bears weeks 2 through 17. So
that's a lot of strategy involved in that one. Guys.
Fun wrinkle.
I ain't choosing the Bears week 1 anyway. That's going to be a game that
Bears Packers. You're not taking them over the Packers, Cody.
I want to, but I
know.
I'm too scarred, Nick. I'm too scarred. Give me whoever is playing the Texans.
All right.
Yeah, like that.
There you go. I don't think you'll be able to pick the AFC. Again, like you can only pick the Colts once. That's the thing, is you can't do that strategy because the Colts are going to play the Texans twice, but you can only pick the Colts once. Same with all the Jags as well. But go 20-0 or be the last person standing to win. If a single person wins, they get the entire pot. If multiple people go 20-0, or if multiple people are eliminated the same week, to reduce the context to 0, they split the pot. Thanksgiving and Black Friday combined for a week, and Christmas is its own day. So we'll be talking more about Circa $1,000,005 and Circa Survivor. Again, $14 million in guaranteed prizes up for both of these contests, split between both of these contests, and we'll have a CHGO Sports episode coming up where we'll talk to the VP of Circa Sports,
fun,
Mike Paul,
yeah.
about all these contests. But let's get into some Bears talk, huh?
Let's do it, you guys. Let's do it.
Bears.
So we got this massive packet, and we'll just start off right here. The Bears all tie for regular season wins. 8.5. If you go over, it's at plus 190, 8.5. If you go under, it's minus 220. They are setting the actual win total at 7.5, going over at minus 125, under at plus 105. So a little bit of juice there. And then if you are a little bit low on Justin Fields, if you don't think that he's going to be him, 6.5, minus 235 for that over, but plus 200 for that under. So let's start just with the division here. You look at the NFC North. Detroit Lions plus 125 to win the NFC North. Green Bay Packers plus 385, the Vikings plus 282, and the Bears at last at plus 425. Should the Bears have the longest odds to win the NFC North, Nicholas Moreano?
I think they have a lot to prove still, but when you look at the team that was going out there at Soldier Field last season, it looks a lot different than the one that's going to be showing up in 2023, guys. And I think it all predicates to what Justin Fields should be able to do this season with DJ Moore, the weapons, and just also being in the offense with Luke Getsy for a second year, you guys. So I guess looking at the odds for the Bears, yes, they should be there. But look, for me, like the bottom line for them in terms of wins is going to be 7 games for me. Like I think this roster is improved enough to where they were competing last year, guys. They didn't have anybody. Yeah. They didn't have anybody out there on the field. But this should be a year where the Bears now have a little bit more talent to where those one-score games that they went 1-7 in last season, they should be able to be on top of those games. And, thankfully they actually did lose those games because they ended up getting the number 1 overall pick out of it. But yeah. I think right now, yes, where the Bears are slotted is fine, but I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
See, the point about you saying 1-7 and one-score games last year, it always brings, like you saying that brings me back to last season was the funnest tank I've ever watched of any Chicago sports team, man. Like they were in every game and they pissed me off every Sunday, but I also remembered about the future and, they lucked out getting that number 1 pick. Shout out Lovie Smith. And here we are, DJ Moore, like you said, they've added some pieces on the defense. And, yeah, I agree. 7 wins is the bottom line. I think that, realistically, 9 or 10 is something that they can do.
9 or 10?
Yeah, realistically, I think 9 or 10 wins is something they can do. And if you really give me like really on the Kool-Aid, don't let me talk myself into 12. All right.
Jeez, Cody. Don't let facts get into it.
Yeah, where's Bragg?
But like realistically, though, I do think they could win 9 or 10 games.
Hey,
I do.
I mean, again, you could take that over. That's a pretty decent play, especially on the alt line being 8.5. Bears to make the playoffs at plus 185, whether that be wild card or via the division. Do we really trust the Lions? Like, I don't know. I like this. Just really feels like, maybe a little less to this extent because the Orioles are actually really good. But it just feels like the Orioles in the AL East, like you see all those killers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays, right? And who's leading the AL East? The Orioles, the team that's just been pretty mediocre our entire life. The Lions haven't won a playoff game since when?
Since before I was born.
Right, and you're the oldest person here.
Like, what is it, 1990 or 91?
I think
like that?
it was pre-Scott Mitchell. Like, this, it's just, this is not a team I can trust. I don't trust Jared
1991,
Goff.
you guys.
1991.
Yeah. So, okay, literally the year I was born. Then.
Okay, all right.
So 32 years. Everyone knows how old I am now.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't see the Lions, them being the favorites at plus 125 to win the division. Like, I mean, you can get the Bengals at plus 165 to win the North. Like, I would rather take that because, again, you have proven Joe Burrow. Maybe you don't trust Zach Taylor, but I definitely don't trust Jared Goff. I don't know if I can trust Dan Campbell. And, again, it's the Lions. They're cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing, guys. They did look good last season. Like even a guy like Jared Goff, who prior to probably that last season with Detroit, it's never been a guy where I thought, okay, he can take the Lions to the next step. And still, honestly, at this point, I don't know if that's true. But the roster, when you look at it, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good with Amon-Ra St. Brown, what Jared Goff can do in that offense. You also draft
game.
Yeah, so you also have David Montgomery over there. They're going to run the football. You know, they're going to play. Their defense is the biggest question right now for me. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you know, they have some guys over there that can rush the quarterback. And when you play against the Bears, Hutchinson, you look a lot better when you're doing that last season. But they did show a lot of promise and what they can be in 2023. And again, it's until they break the old stigma that they are the Lions. I think that's what's going to have a lot of people looking at, you know, this Lions team and thinking, can they actually get over the hump and be a team that actually gets out of the, you know, again, that stigma, a team that has not won a playoff game since 1991.
Yeah. You know, they're coming in the year with a lot of momentum. I mean, they eliminated Aaron Rodgers from the playoffs or from making the playoffs last year. We all watched on our TVs and celebrated it. At least I know I did. And, like, they did play well towards the end of the year. So, I think these odds and everything are based off a lot of the narrative, right? Obviously, they have to go out there and prove it. I do like Dan Campbell because that team was all – like, they were like, what, 2-6 or something like that at some point last year? Maybe I'm a little off by a game or two, but they were kind of like – they looked like they were definitely going to be one of the – yeah, they looked like they were done in the middle of the year, and then they got hot at the end of the year. Almost legitimately almost made a run to make the playoffs. But
1-6.
Yeah, 1-6. Okay, so I didn't.
you were discrediting.
I was discrediting. Yeah, and you know, like I said, they got hot in the second half. So again, yeah, I do think it's more the odds and everything are based on the narrative, and you're coming into a year where Aaron Rodgers is finally out of the NFC North.
And that's why everything's wide open.
And yeah, it's wide open. So I would say that they are the most proven team of the 4 teams in the division because we were talking about, before we went on air, we were talking about the Vikings a little bit, and they lost some guys. That Thielen's gone, Dalvin Cook's gone. You know, I don't know about the Vikings, and so I think with the Lions' momentum and everything, I think that's why that the odds are where they're at. But I do think, like, would I bet on the Lions? Even if I was a Lions fan, I don't even know if I would bet on the Lions to, win the division or go over that win total because it's a new season, and now for the first time in since maybe when Stafford was like, early in his career. It's the first time in a long time since that organization has like actual expectations to do something. The rest of the teams, like the Bears, no one believes in them yet. They don't have real expectations either, I don't feel like. So like,
well, Dan Campbell seems to be doing a great job of being like, nobody believes in us, right? Like, we are the only people that can believe in us, that can prove anyone wrong, right? We have to do the work. We have to go out and win games. He seems like a really great motivator.
Sure.
But what I'm trying to do here is, again, we're from Chicago. It's very known that when a lot of Las Vegas sportsbook numbers get cooked because people who are Chicago fans bet on their teams a ton. I forget the number a couple of years ago, but Justin Fields to win the MVP was at like a ridiculous number because it's like he's just a breathing quarterback on the Bears. But to see them at plus 425, the longest team, I don't think that there's a solid resume for any team above them, and that's why when we're looking at as bettors, I'm always trying to find the edge. I'm always trying to find the longest odds. I'm always trying to find the biggest return at plus 425 or at plus 185 to win the division or to make the playoffs. I think the Bears are a fantastic bet. You brought up the stat, Nick, that the Bears were 1-7 last year in one-score games. The Vikings were 11-0.
Guys,
that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm looking at some of the games that they played, and look, you're nuts. When they were, what was it? Were they down 30-0 at halftime against the Indianapolis Colts and somehow won that game in overtime? Like, that's not going to happen again. It's like everything needs to freaking align for those types of wins to come out, and I just don't see that replicating. Like, it usually goes back to the median the following year, and you lose Dalvin Cook, and Alexander Madison's gonna have to do a lot for that offense there. And Kirk Cousins, like, I think he could put up numbers. He's always put up numbers, but when you need him most to put together a drive, or whether it's a playoff loss against the Giants, he doesn't perform as well as you want him to. But I don't know, guys. I just think that the Vikings had a lot of things working for them last season. Is that replicable in 2023? I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, they were one of the luckiest teams in football last year, right? And now with some of those guys that we already mentioned being gone, like, again, that brings me down like any kind of like, what can they do? Like, obviously Cousins and Jefferson have that great connection.
Yeah, it's a good one too.
And even though they lost Dalvin Cook, I don't know about you guys, but I've always believed in you can replace running backs very easily. I mean, as Bears fans, we have seen that happen year after year. One of the few things they could consistently do. So for me, it's just kind of how they won games last year. I don't think anyone really thought they were for real at all last year, even though they won some of those games. And that's how I feel going into this year. Like, I don't have any. I'm not afraid of them. As a fan, I'm not afraid of them, and as betting on who to win the division, I'd rather bet on the Packers just because of their history than I would on the Vikings.
And I'm glad you bring it up, the Packers, because we have to talk about them even a little bit here over here. I think obviously everything's going to be predicated on Jordan Love, and I think this preseason he's kind of shown you signs that he's not completely lost out there, which I think is not too surprising, but. They have a decent roster. They have those rookie wide receivers who now are in their second season with Jordan Love. You have some running backs there, Matt LaFleur. So could they be a team that makes some noise in the NFC North? They definitely can, but it was Aaron Rodgers operating that offense. It was Aaron Rodgers who was keeping the Packers in contention every single year, and now it's Jordan Love. And there's just so much to be proven for a guy that sat on the bench the last 3 years. And hasn't shown much, obviously, in the league because he was, a backup. So it's almost like with Justin Fields taking that next step, we need to see what Jordan Love really even is at this point, and that's hard to say right now.
Well, the one thing that the Packers do have that's consistent is their run game.
For sure.
With, what's his name, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. That's a two-headed horse that, unfortunately, like – I don't think enough people were talking about. Like, obviously, Jordan Love's game definitely, like, it's going to like his game will depend on if they make the playoffs or not, for sure. But I do think they're going to be a run-first type team. And we saw Christian Watson also like take massive steps as the season went along last year. Their defense kept them in a lot of games. Like Aaron Rodgers, like, yes, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame one day. He was great in Green Bay. Don't talk to me about it. But like in his last year with Green Bay, he did show signs of like regression, whether it was because he was getting older or the distractions behind the whole maybe I'm retiring or not having that bad relationship with the Packers front office, whatever. I don't know what all that, how much that entailed to how Aaron Rodgers played, but he had all those weapons and everything, and they just never lived up to any expectations that they had. And so now they're inserting a new quarterback, and if he plays well or is a game manager to go with the guys that they had last year, like, to me, that's at the very least, I would rather bet on the Packers than Minnesota, at the very least, because they have a good set of offensive weapons, and their defense is solid. Like, it's not great, but it's solid. I think that they could, like Nick said, make some noise. Maybe especially if like a bunch of injuries or something happen, like it certainly could happen, and I'll be miserable. But at least I'll be miserable with more money if I were to bet it.
You mentioned it though, Cody. It's really dependent on how much Jordan Love can be a game manager, and you look at what Aaron Rodgers has always done well. He does not turn the ball over. You look at his touchdown-interception ratio, I think he still leads the NFL like all time, and it's not even close. Like he's in his own
He just takes care of the football, man.
And you look at their turnover differential in 2022, +2, 2021, +13, in 2020, +7, in 2019, +12, and then when Rodgers was hurt in 18, 0, and they went 6-9. So, I mean, and we saw how bad they were last year with only +2. So if they don't have that incredible ball management, the being turnover prone, or not turnover prone, I really just can't trust the Packers. And that's why it's like I don't see a beaming like Circa Sportsbook out in the desert like here with all this illuminating, like it seems like the Bears at +425 is a really good bet just because all of these teams kind of seem like a crapshoot. I don't trust the Vikings. I don't trust the Lions. I don't trust the Packers because, again, Jordan Love will probably have to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's Justin Fields probably has to be perfect as well, but, I mean, he's really damn talented.
But the thing, too, and Justin Fields has
the upside
games played.
is insane.
Yeah,
right.
Games played.
That's the thing. Jordan Love doesn't. He doesn't have that game, man. Like, you could be on the bench, in practice, learning from a Hall of Famer, but nothing replicates live game reps. And at least Justin Fields has that. Yep. And he showed signs last year, especially with his legs, of being someone that could be a complete difference maker. Jordan Love has not had that outside of this preseason.
No.
Yeah.
And, two, I just want to mention, we got 48 people watching right now, so make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, right? I know, Cody. We take a hiatus, and the people just come back in droves. But we only got 12 likes, and we know that you guys
hit the like button.
Hit that like button. It's free.
The like button.
But Adam Hoekstad is saying he took the Bears over 9.5 at +350. Dolphinator 11 saying the Bears team feels reminiscent of the 2015 Cubs team.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then Corey says, sorry to be a buzzkill, but he's taking the under. He thinks the defense is not good. So, I mean, if that's what's the reasons it could go wrong, right? What are the reasons the Bears don't make the playoffs? Is it just Justin Fields doesn't develop and the defense underperforms?
I mean, I think that's a recipe for disaster for the Bears. Those two things right there,
gets hurt.
Gets hurt is obviously a big one. But so
Knock
defensively for the Bears, like they could not get after the quarterback to save their lives, right? They just could not do it, and I think a lot is being put on Yannick Ngakoue right now, you guys, who has been very consistent, whatever team he's been on, of getting after the quarterback. But then when you look at the other defensive linemen right now, it's a lot of rookie talent inside. You have guys like Dominique Robinson's second year, Travis Gibson, DeMarcus Walker. So it's not a lot of proven talent on this defensive line. And if you can't get after the quarterback, it's going to be hard to get off the field for this defense. His secondary, though, It's looking really solid, looking
Yeah.
like a group that can definitely keep the defense in
Kyler
games.
Gordon and Jalen Johnson.
Tyreek Stevenson, who they moved up to go get. Eddie Jackson will be back and healthy. So same
man.
with Jaquan Brisker. So they have some guys in the back end. But still, I want to see how this defense can get after the quarterback. I think we're going to see a little bit more of the linebackers blitzing. And when you got a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, who's 6'5", 250, and looks like a superhuman, you should be doing some of those things. But I think that's a big thing for the defense. Can they get after the quarterback with what they have? And, they did it in the first preseason game with 8 sacks, but that's a preseason, guys, so we have to kind of wait and see on that one.
But we've seen before, like, maybe you don't need an Aaron Donald because as long as your coverage is fantastic, you're just, it's going to take, an offensive line can't block guys for 6 seconds.
No, yeah.
I mean, that's the end of the day. So, if Eddie Jackson and Kyler Gordon are holding up guys in the secondary, and Edmonds, I know that he failed in Buffalo, but he is just one of those young players when he was drafted. He just seems extremely toolsy. It's just like Isaiah Simmons, who's now going from the Cardinals to the Giants. Like, if they unlock him, that could be a game-changing linebacker in the middle of your defense. So, yeah, maybe you don't have a top 10 defensive line, but if you have a top 10 secondary and you have maybe a top 10 linebacking core, and maybe that's a little bit too high, Nick. So
Actually,
maybe
the T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, those two were the top 5 in terms of pass coverage last year.
Okay.
So they have a linebacking group that should be one of the strengths of this Bears defense. And you combine that with the secondary, like they should be good coverage-wise. It's just how long are quarterbacks going to have to throw against them? But look, I get it. There's skepticism about what this Bears defense can be after what they couldn't do last season. But they have added a lot more talent than what they were throwing out there in 2022.
I think, and this is weird because it's the Bears, but like for the first time, and I know there's still a lot to be proved, but for the first time, I feel like the offense looks to be good enough to where there isn't going to be a ton of pressure on the defense to get 3 and outs every single time, to hold teams to under 14 points. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Bears will be in a lot of high-scoring games. I think we'll be taking the over a lot in Bears games this year, and that's exciting, folks.
You did last year.
I did, especially after the game against New England. I was like, they have let him go.
28 points
Give
per
us
game.
the over against the Bears until further notice, and yeah, we were very profitable on that.
And the fun part about being here in beautiful Las Vegas at Circa Resort and Casino here on Radio Row is we're going to have all the time in the world to talk about Justin Fields' player props. So we're going to have a players episode tomorrow. We'll probably talk more about that over and how much we're going to bet it. Last time I was in Vegas for that Patriots-Bears game. I didn't bet it, and I should have. But I was leaving on Monday, so I couldn't cash my money. But whatever. I feel like we can't leave Vegas without playing at least something. Bears plus 185 to make the playoffs, or at least plus 425 to win the division. I feel like I've talked myself into it. Anyways, we got 52 people watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Again, we're coming to you live from Circa Resort and Casino in beautiful Las Vegas, and Circa is coming to you. If you are in the Illinois state of Illinois, Circa, the sportsbook app, the Circa sportsbook app is to launch in Illinois in late August and early September. We are here at beautiful Circa Resort and Casino, and let me tell you, it's the first ever adults-only casino resort. They are doing it in style here. Every inch of this place is clean and pristine. It's the world's largest sports book. They have 3-story stadium-style viewing. Our guy Aaron, who set us up with all these packets, took me down to the sports book. I mean, you can just literally just look up.
You were in heaven, Sean. You were just in heaven. I'm surprised you came back.
I mean,
I can't believe you came back to do the show, man.
Even though they're replays, I could still probably bet on them. And it takes 10 people to operate the 78 million pixel screen. It is insane to see that pixel screen up front and personal. We're probably going to go check out Victory Burger or Project BBQ after this because I am hungry.
Same,
and they got tons of VIP seating from the Dugout Club, the Legends Club, the Champions Club, the Circa Club Upper, the Circa Club Lower, and the North and South stands. And, of course, they have Stadium Swim, a 4,000 person capacity pool, a 143 by 40-foot LED screen. It's open 365 days a year, 6 pools, 2 spas, 15 square feet of wet space, 2 swim bars, cabanas, and super cabanas that can hold up to 50 guests. So if you have not checked out Circa yet, if you have not been into Old Vegas and on Fremont Street, like our guy Shane shouted out in the comments, do yourself a favor. If you got miles to use on any airline, get out to Vegas and come visit our friends over at Circa, because this place is absolutely beautiful, and we're very excited for their sportsbook to be launching in our state soon.
Absolutely.
Stadium swim. Like the pictures I seen before we came here, don't do it justice, man. Like I open bar at Stadium Swim tomorrow from 8 to 4. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to experience it. So yeah, come out to Circa. This place is awesome, man.
Yeah, Sean gave you a great rundown of why you need to come here and check out Circa, but you also need to check out Factor. Now that we're in the thick of summer, you guys, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals to support sunny, active days. In Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals. Look, we all get busy, and there are times when you just don't have time to cook. With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, the prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy and get back to your busy lifestyle. Just the other day, I had the black pepper and sage pork chop, you guys, with smoked cheddar Brussels sprouts and creamy broccoli. I know we haven't ate yet, and it sounds delicious right now, but 45 grams of protein is just a perfect meal for after a tough workout. So this for Factor, enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. And here's the most important part, everybody. Head to factormeals.com/CHGO Bets 50 and use the code CHGO Bets 50 to get 50% off. That's code CHGO Bets 50 at factormeals.com/CHGO Bets 50 to, again, get 50% off.
And they are absolutely
They are incredible.
fantastic.
Oh my God,
and, I mean, you mentioned just saving time. I mean, literally like 2 minutes, and you're going to have a beautiful meal right in front of you ready to eat. So thank you to Factor, and thank you to Circa for having us out here. All right, guys, we talked about the NFC North. We talked about the Bears. Let's just get into any other divisions and any other team props that you like. We have a ton of things to look at here in this packet. You can give me a Super Bowl winner. You could give me another division winner. You can give me most regular season wins, losses, whatever you like. Cody, since you are my resident degenerate, I will go to you first.
So I kind of said this before we started. My flyer to win the Super Bowl this year, because it's at plus 5,000. The Bears are also at plus 5,000, but I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be Greg Braggs. I like the Steelers at plus 5,000 to win the Super Bowl because, 1, I love Mike Tomlin. 2, he's never had a losing season. 3, they inserted their new quarterback last year, and it took him a little bit, but in the second half of the year, they really turned it on. I believe, as a team, their last 9 games, they only turned the ball over 5 times.
Damn, wow, that's...
They're in a tough division, right? The Bengals, they still have Burrow. They just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They're going to be competitive again this year. The Ravens, they did keep Lamar. They are always competitive. And then the Browns, I think they're mid, but they're going to be competitive too, though, at least in that division. It's a very tough division. But I think if the Steelers can get in, I think anything is possible, obviously. And at plus 5,000 with a coach like Mike Tomlin, and obviously they're going to need to see more improvement out of Kenny Pickett this year too. But as my flyer Super Bowl pick this year, I like the Steelers just because the NFL is the NFL, and you just never know. Like, no one thought the Eagles were going to be as good as they were last year, and they go to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but they went to the Super Bowl. Anyone who had them before the season going all the way, at least, like, they probably made some nice cash, you know what I mean? So, for me, yeah, the Steelers are kind of like that sleeper team for me to make some noise. If not win the Super Bowl, maybe make the playoffs. There's really good odds for them all across the board for them, just because the Bengals are so popular. The Ravens are popular.
Browns, yeah.
Again, they went 9-8 last year when they were supposed to be awful.
No, it's a good point, and I really like love watching George Pickens, man. He makes
I
highlight
didn't even
plays
mention
every
him.
single time
Yeah.
in training camp. I like that. I was looking at, guys, the most regular season losses, and I was just actually, before this trip, I was in Indianapolis. Got to see the Colts up close and personal. And Anthony Richardson is a physical specimen. I mean, this dude is built different. He is built different. I think, though, the Colts are gonna struggle, I think, you guys. Just what they were doing offensively against the Bears defense without a pass rush, not much. Anthony Richardson was not throwing the football at all. He didn't play in the preseason game. And there's trade rumors about trading Jonathan Taylor right now. I don't know if they're going to win that many games. And right now they're at plus 2,200 for most regular season losses. I like that, you guys.
Ooh.
And, a team where, look, Anthony Richardson too, you guys, I think he will be good. I just don't think it's going to be this season yet. You're going to see him grow as a passer, hopefully, but it's not going to be instantaneous where you're going to see that growth, I think, immediately in 2023. And if you don't, especially don't have Jonathan Taylor defensively, I don't think they have as much playmakers. You know DeForest Buckner and Kenny Moore, but I don't know, you guys. I just don't see them winning a lot of football games, so I'm going with the Colts right now.
You look at that list too. Right above them is the Titans at 21 to 1. The fact that you get the Colts longer, I love that. You look at the Colts win total from Circa 6.5. You can go under at plus 105 plus money. We love that, Cody.
Hell yeah.
5.5 at plus 205. I'm 100% with you.
Wow, yeah,
I
like
did
that a
not
lot.
understand the Anthony Richardson love coming out of college.
I didn't either.
Look at how many guys just have failed once they come
Look
out.
at Trey Lance. He didn't have any playing experience, and look at him now. He's about to get traded out from the 49ers. Anthony Richardson has not had a lot of passing attempts, but it's almost like a similar kind of boat there. So I completely get that.
Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold. I mean, Zach. Who's the guy that Rodgers
Wilson?
played?
Zach
Zach
Wilson?
Wilson, right? I'm forgetting his damn name.
I watched a lot of SEC football last year, man, and then he didn't impress me that much.
He's an athlete.
Yeah,
He
he's
can
an athlete.
I mean, look, he can run like no other. Like him and Justin Fields are in that type of category rushing. But
Right.
I think it's going to take a little bit for him as a passer, and not
Plus
to say
new
that he's
coaching
bad or anything.
staff and everything. They're trying to get all these new.
Exactly.
It's similar to the Bears last year in a way, right? Like new coach, new offense, probably.
And he's a rookie, guys. It
And
takes
he's
time
a
for
rookie,
rookies.
yeah. So, I like that. That entire division is just going to be so bad that you could take any team, and I do think the Texans could be better, but
C.J. Stroud, another rookie quarterback too,
Right.
so it's not guaranteed. But yeah.
What about you, Sean? What you got?
I think the final one I'm going to give out here, and what was the other rookie? The other rookie I was interested in, I forgot about the Souths just completely. I mean, you look at Circa's odds for
Bryce Young, or what are you looking at?
Which division is going to win the Super Bowl. The AFC South is at like 17 to 1. The NFC South is at 20 to 1. So I don't think the Super Bowl winner is coming out of there. But Bryce Young, I mean, I was really impressed with him in college. The Panthers have a really good defense. I think a long shot at plus 415 to win the division. Derek Carr is Derek Carr. I feel like we know who Derek Carr is. I don't really love Desmond Ridder. I like Arthur Smith, but I don't really love Desmond Ridder.
Baker Mayfield and the Bucks?
No, and plus 875. They're a real long shot. I'm teased by the Panthers at plus 415. So if I was going to give out two long shots to win the division, I'd go Bears at plus 425, and then I'd go Panthers at plus 415. But I love your point about the Colts. I'm going to go play some Colts unders. I'm going to play Colts most regular season losses as well. Let's give out a Super Bowl winner. I don't know if you guys have any, but there is one that I have locked in, and I don't know if it is to spite Packer fans. The Jets at 17 to 1. Let's go.
I did highlight that.
Now-
I mean, you are giving one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time a reason to prove you wrong. Cody, you are the king of spite. You are the person that holds on to every grudge. You don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to go to New York with a new shiny running back and Dalvin Cook and just absolutely ball out? And they got a fun defense. I mean, I feel like
Gardner,
there's a lot cooking there to where this could be a Super Bowl champion at 17 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at some of these other teams, like I said about the Steelers, I like them. Believe it or not, I kind of like the Jags. Like, I really like Trevor Lawrence. Like, if there were to be one team from the NFC South or the AFC South, like I think it would be the Jags, just because they did make the playoffs last year and they played really well down the stretch, and I felt like they were this close from winning a playoff game. Some things just didn't go their way at the end of that game, but yeah, I mean, I like the Jags at plus 3,000, but if you want lower odds, and I know I talked about the Steelers, but I still do like the Bengals as well. I think the AFC North could be just a bloodbath all season, honestly, and the 2 wild cards could come out of that division.
I do think it's weird just looking at the odds. You look at the Chiefs, and they're at plus 650 to win the Super Bowl. But for them to win the division, it's at minus 190. You look at the Bengals, and they're at plus 950 to win the Super Bowl. And for them to win the division, it's at plus 165. I know you mentioned the division, but I think the Bengals at plus 165 is a pretty good number for a team that, again, has Joe Burrow. The final other thing I wanted to bring up, this is from my guy Marco D'Angelo from Wager Talk TV. You guys know this stat? There's 18 different winners. Like, for the past 18 straight years, there's been a different winner in the NFC East.
Oh.
So,
jeez.
The Eagles repeating is a very, very long shot. I see you're pulling up something with the Eagles here.
Okay, that's a good point.
At minus 110, I'd skip it. I'd say
for the division.
Yeah,
right, okay.
I'd say skip it for winning the division. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I hate the Cowboys. I have a spite against the Cowboys. I don't know if I trust Dak Prescott. I think at plus 715, the Giants, it's interesting.
Very interesting.
It's interesting.
They had a great year last year with the new coach, Dable, and everything.
Daniel Jones showed some signs.
I do think Saquon's health does have a big part in the success of that team. And, Daniel Jones was probably his best season of his career, but you could still the reason that it was is because Dable figured out how to win with him. And so that's the key. I do think that they'll be right there in the chase. I don't know if they can win that division, but yeah, it is weird that how like a new winner every year in the NFC East. But this is like the first time I feel like that division's going to be really good, because I feel like for years and years that division's just been bad. So
Washington's going to be interesting to see how they do with Sam Howell. But no, my Super Bowl guys, I mean, looking at plus 800 for the Philadelphia Eagles, they only got better this offseason. Yeah, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Jalen Hurts, I think, still has even more to grow as a quarterback, and he was in the MVP consideration last season. So, and they went toe-to-toe with the Eagles, and I know they tried to blame the field or the Chiefs, for not being able to get their defensive pass rush as prominent as they would like it to be, but that's a team that is just stacked up front. I just don't know how you're planning on blocking the Philadelphia Eagles for an entire game and not getting your quarterback smacked. So it's a team with A.J. Brown, Smith also there as wide receiver. They have a lot going for them. They lose Miles Sanders, but I think with that system you can just plug in a running back and you're going to be perfectly fine. So I really do like the Philadelphia Eagles to be back in the Super Bowl and honestly to win it this season if everything goes right.
Find a fast guy. But yeah, no, I mean the Eagles are incredibly smart. I would say they're probably the smartest NFL organization. I mean,
they do things right.
You look at the Chiefs, they got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. That's a good start. You don't really need to be that smart. Just, be lucky.
This whole thing with Chris Jones, though, potentially sitting out until week 8 or whatever, that
would be interesting.
That kind of scares me. But it's not like they'll need him to win like a bunch of to
Patrick
survive.
Mahomes is 27-3 against the AFC West.
Yeah.
He has 3 losses against his own division.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're at minus 190 to win this division.
It's unreal.
That's going to wrap it up for CHGO Bets. We're going to be here live from Circa Sports.
And this is related to Nick's Colts having like the worst record. You can get the Colts at plus or no, I'm looking at the wrong one. You can get the Colts at plus 1,400, last winless team.
Okay.
I'm making bets on the Colts this year.
Yeah, I think
last winless team. I'm just like,
I think we're going to go downstairs and go bet against the Colts.
Yes, yeah. No, that's what's going to happen right after this.
Mercy. All right. Well, we had a ton of people watching this show. We need to ask you guys to like the video on your way out. We got over 35,000 subscribers. CHGO Sports is growing. ALLCITY is growing. The fact that they're sending us out here to Las Vegas is massive, and we do want to thank our friends over at Circa Sports. Their resort and casino is top-notch. It is unmatched. It is the best place in Las Vegas. Again, it's an adult only resort and casino. It is spotless. It is clean. It is beautiful. You need to be here yesterday. Get over here as soon as possible. And again, thank you so much to our friends over at Circa for setting us up with this booth and for all of the amenities. It's been great to be here on Radio Row, and we're excited to be back at 12:30. That is Vegas time, so that will be 2:30 Chicago time, and at 12:45 we'll be joined by Mike Palm, the VP of Operations for Circa Sports here, so we'll talk a little bit more about Circa Million and Circa Survivors. So make sure you're subscribing to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Thank you to Marissa for producing the show. That's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. That's Nicholas Moreano, our CHGO Bears beat writer. You can follow him at Nicholas Moreano. And I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the Bet Show at CHGO_Bets. We'll talk to you in about 45 minutes. Bye.